Welcome to the High-Tech Investments News Report for Week 9. The news report covers some of the many investments projects High-Tech Investments is currently involved in so you can follow our progress. We hope you will enjoy this news feed and look forward to your comments and remarks.
Hi, Bo here, and welcome back to this week's news report, where once again it is time to have a view back on the last week, see exactly what happened on the individual platforms that we trade and invest on. And things have definitely gone better again here. So the last couple of weeks, we have seen a bit of a downturn so on the profits itself, but I'm glad to announce here that the profits are back. They are back up to where they are supposed to be. Hopefully they will go even further, but we are very happy to see that even though we haven't changed any settings on all these EAs, they have come good themselves. Obviously, this is the market that at the end of the day also decides this, but it is running nicely. And obviously, the settings that we have now discussed and implemented over the past couple of months here seems to be working quite well. The only issue we still have is a couple of US dollar accounts that simply doesn't want to close here yet. We will have to wait and see how that actually goes. But overall, it's a nice positive week. And on top of this, also because we are now in the month of March, means that we're also going to have a look at the entire monthly setup, so individual EAs. And for all these, we have all the new ones, the Hedge EA, the Bill Trader, the Lucky Trader, and of course the old RSI and Wave Liberator in here, plus also the Trade Explorer. And for the Trade Explorer, we also have a new setup instead of just the 10 pair. We have now made some changes, so that means also we have now done a 6 pair one. That should be hopefully even better than the 10 pair one over time. Especially we have been focusing on the peaks of drawdown that comes very quickly and goes away again. We know that some of these peaks certainly cash in, but they can also basically crash your account if you're not careful, and that's why we had a review. We have plenty of data, and we're going to show you a bit of that also through this video here today. And obviously we're going to also go into Expert Forex and Alex, see which videos he has released this week, which ones we believe that you should maybe have a closer look at. And as always, we'll make sure that the links are in the video description below. But let's get into it. Let's get started. Let's see how it works, because last week we mentioned here that especially on the Decenomy Coins in here, they were up. We had a massive amount of coins coming in from our staking. So it's time to see if it continues this week. Now, since we have no news from Yieldnodes, either from Steve or Woods here, then we basically just log into the Yieldnodes account as usual, have a look at the audit coin reserves that we have in here to see if we have any more masternodes set up. Again, here the total coins owned by Yieldnodes and the participators in here. You can see the coin set has gone up, which is obviously quite nice. But again, masternodes running. Last time we saw that it was pretty much the same for a couple of weeks. We can see that things have gone up. If we go and look at PNY, 264 up by 3 to 267. And also SAP coins here, 38.75 up to 38.87 now. So an additional 12 also for the SAP. And the same goes for the rest of them. It looks like all of them new masternodes has been set up, which is obviously good. But as usual, it's all about the coin value at the end of the day, and as you'll see, it's still pretty much rock bottom. The red circle is where we left it last time around when we talk about SAP versus Bitcoin. So it is as low as pretty much it can go in here, and since then, yeah, there's a small little green in there, but we are not talking about any particular volume at all for these particular coins. So obviously not very interesting at the moment. So we're going to jump straight over to the SAP staking instead. Last week this was actually quite high. We can also see for this week it's more than you can actually have on the screen in here. So we ended up having 8,600 SAP in here, so quite a few entries, as you'll notice, several on the same day here. So we can just see on the 3rd we actually had 5 in here, and about 13.1%. so some massive numbers at the moment is showing. Since everything was pretty much dead in January, then in February everything has very much come alive. You can see the graph on the right hand side here shows that for the entire month of February we made 18,152. So that is definitely the highest we have seen so far. and it looks like already that March is also very well underway. If it's going to be more or less, we will have to wait and see. But now we're up to about 55,000 SAP. But again, it doesn't really matter too much if the coin value is what I showed you here before. Same goes here for the PNY. There's not so many entries. That one is still tracking as normal, also from 2023 and 24. 1197 PNY in here provided us with 3.1% for the week. And then for the month, we had 5,586. So that's also a very good number. And the total value of coins, 38,535. Definitely up. Looks to be working quite well. Didn't exactly hit the same number as it did in January, but we're definitely still looking at this as a future investment, maybe if everything ever comes good. Otherwise, well, we have wasted a bit of time and effort. That's all. Wasted time and effort, well, I don't know, it depends on Bitcoin, where you are with that. So that took a nosedive this particular week here again, based on a lot of different news coming out around the world. We had it at 95,000 on the last news report, dropped all the way down to 80,000, and then started to move up again here in the past 36 hours, back up to 95. So again, it's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen with this one. It seems like it's a bit far away from the 100,000 mark at the moment that we crashed in last month. But obviously, we'll have to wait and see how the development is going to go in the future months. Trade Explorer, well, there is a new future. We mentioned the 6-pair one, and we're going to take a look at that just in a few minutes. So the first one we have set up here now for the 6-pair one instead, which is still part of a copy service from the 10-pair one. This is the one we normally run, and it made 208 and 2.1% for the week. In here, we have now set it up in such a way that we are trying to take the best ones, the least volatile pairs in here, and basically these are the numbers. This is not even for a full week, it's only for a few days, so we'll have to come back to that one next week. We're also going to have a look again at the 10-pair one, and that continues to go well. As you can see, the balance started off with 10,000, is now at almost 53,000, and plenty of monthly returns. We are not changing the lot sizes because it's on the coupling service, so we can't really change that one in there. But the history overall, 655 days, now also gives us a lot of trading information, and that's where we have taken some of the details out. We have a nice trade win of 75.5% in here, so everything seems to be going quite well. If we try to compare it for recent weeks that we have, you can see 208 fares better than last week, which was quite low, 167. 682 was a very good week in here. So we are still on the low side. So with the Trade Explorer, obviously 5,000, that's where we had the last deep dive. So basically a big drawdown in here. And that's the same we had on some of the other ones that you go back to in here. That's what we are trying to avoid on the 6-pair one, because it can actually kill the account if you don't have enough money in here. So we're trying to make one just slightly safer. We also have to look again at the whole month of February. And for that, the Trade Explorer always looks good. It might have a bad week, but here again, a bad month, 1,526. Is definitely not too bad with 15.3% overall. And if we have a look at the history also coming, we can see that we're pretty much on level with January. So we're missing about 140 or so dollars in here. But apart from that, it looks pretty okay. Also compared to some of the other months in here, that is pretty much the standard for this particular 10-pair one. Now, obviously, I told you we're going to have a closer look at the 6-pair one now. And we have already started with that. We also still trading this one on a balance on 10,000. And you also notice maybe that the 10-pair one has a bit of a drawdown. This one here is already smaller, so that is good to see. We've got some nice profits in here. And then the monthly return only calculated on a couple of days. So we'll have to wait to get that stabilized. We might also have to adjust it. We have a high trade win at the moment, but again, very few trades. So this should most probably also come down a bit from 93. Otherwise, that would be obviously great. History of 3 days so far. But again, this is very early days. But what we want to show you in here, so on the left-hand side of the screen, these are the normal currency pairs that the 10-pair Trade Explorer is doing. We've broken it down into the trades that has been going on for the individual currency pairs. We can also see the sum that it has actually cashed in. You'll notice that the US Japanese has quite a few trades, but it hasn't really made a lot of money. And then at the same time here also, we have the max lots that we have found, and we go through FX Blue to find those details in here. We do our calculations and basically figure out which ones are the ones we want to bet on or not. But clearly US CAT was the highest one we had in here with more than 7 lots, and that's definitely what can crash most people's accounts when it comes to that. The Trade Explorer is renowned for that, and I mentioned that many times in the past. So now what we are taking in here, we're taking some of the ones with the lowest max lot size in here, trying to set them together. We're using a profit factor in order to pump it up, because as you can see, it drops from 38,000 down to 23. So again, we're trying to get roughly the same level as we have with the normal Trade Explorer. And then also we're gonna basically cover off the max lot. So that is something we can go in and do so that we won't get to the same numbers ever as they have over here. So it's going to be exciting to see in the next weeks and months to come how this pans out. Obviously, we most probably have to make some minor adjustments to get it right. Now also, if we go to the Wave Liberator in here, profit is also back up again. So Euro Swiss francs starting off with $38, 3.8%, and Aussie Swiss francs, $29, 2.9%, with US CAT right after at $28, 2.8%, and New Zealand USD, $25, 2.5%, and then Aussie Japanese, $25, 2.5%. It is not the biggest results we had, but $145 on these 5 $1,000 accounts still provides you with 2.9%, and 2.9% over a month is still more than 10. If we go and have a look at the entire portfolio, we can see that the floating profit and loss has come up a bit again, and this is definitely down to the US that doesn't want to close the US currency pair. The balance is now 260,000. We can also see monthly returns has normally been 1.2. It's down to 1.1 at the moment, because obviously the US pairs is not tracking. It's not basically creating profit the same way as it did before, because it's still in a drawdown. But we have still a good trade win, 67%. Trades per day is still lying pretty regularly at 14. And now we have a history of 559 days in here. So still tracking quite well with all the individual currency pairs up to 22 as we have in here. All of these you can also find on our website for the link to success, copy link service in here. Most of these are on. The only one we still haven't put on is actually Canadian Swiss francs. So we're going to have a look at that, see if it's actually come good and it's also working as it should be here in the future. If we go and have a look at the entire portfolio and what it has made, 365 for the week, certainly better than last week's 192. That was really low. And also the week before, 301. So it's nice to see things are starting to bounce back. But we also want to have a closer look to see exactly what it does on a monthly basis. It provides us with a better insight on which ones are worth trading and which ones are not. And the Euro Swiss francs comes on top with $126 or 12.6% for the month. Great British pounds USD, $115 or 11.5%, with Aussie Swiss francs at 110 and 11%. Aussie Canadian, $108 or 10.8%, and then Swiss francs Japanese, $105, 10.5%. Overall, if you would have traded those top 5 on $1,000 accounts, you would have made $564 or 11.3%. That is definitely a very good return just for the month of February. If we have a look at the entire portfolio to see how well that is actually doing, also on a monthly basis, we can see it's been quite stable. In December was 1,669, 1,698, and now in February 1,565, even though we had those slow weeks in here. So that is good news, means that signals are very stable. But we're also going to have a look at the RSI Liberator for week 9 in here. And the top jumper is the Aussie USD with $52 or 5.2%, with EuroCAD following after $40, 4%. CAD Swiss francs $40 or 4%, and then Aussie Japanese $35, 3.5%, with Great British Pounds CAD at $24, 2.4%, and also here it is an improved results from the past weeks, $191 or 3.8%. So it is definitely worth taking into consideration. Also the RSI, but that one seems to be a bit lower here at the moment compared to the rest of the EAs. Balance is going well. 22 times 10, 220,000. We are now up 245, so it's going in the right direction. Also here, the floating profit and loss has gone a bit up again from what we had last week, so hopefully this will come down. Trade wins at 66%. Trades per day, we see a few more than we do on the Wave Liberator, so 18, and then a history of 328 days, getting just 1 month away from a full year of trading this particular portfolio. Now, all of these also signals that you see in here, you can find on our website again, and some of them are on the coupling service. It will actually state there. You click it, you go to the FX Blue, and then you get some of these details that you also see here. Again, you will then notice that the RSI Liberator for the week did 391 overall. So again, a lot better than last week with 204, and the prior week 257. So it's good. Profits are coming up. Only beaten so in the last couple of weeks, as you can see here, so with about 3 weeks back where we did 547, so let's hope we're going to get back up to that level. But we want to have a closer look at the entire month, because that also provides some very good data. Great British Pounds Japanese is doing extremely well with $168 or 16.8%. So again, the Japanese currency pair, the way we are now trading everything, is a lot more stable, is a lot more secure. So it is traded with big gap sizes, but as you can see, they are still working out. So cash gained quite well with the same low drawdown as the rest of them. The Aussie Japanese in here, $131 or 13.1%. Aussie Japanese also here, 126 or 12.6%. So definitely worth having a close look at those three. The Euro, Great British Pounds, $98, 9.8%, and then Aussie CAD, $96, 9.6%, and overall for the month of February, if you would have traded those top 5 EAs, you would have made $617 or 12.3%, so definitely very good. And if we have a closer look to see where we are compared to previous months, we are a bit on the low side still. 1,401 compared to last month in January was slightly better. So obviously we are hoping the market is going to turn around here and make life a bit easier. But also on the RSI Liberator, we obviously have the US dollar accounts in here that is dragging us down with the drawdown and not cashing in so well at the moment. In the meantime, you can go on our website. You can find all these individual EAs here. Simply go to hightechinvestment.com and then go to portfolio opportunities. You'll then notice the Wave, the RSI Liberator, and the next one we're going to have a look at is the Hedged EA. And when you look at that for week 9, you'll see that the numbers are quite good. Great British Pounds Aussie is at $92 just for the week, 9.2%. That is what most people is happy about for an entire month. Euro AUD is $51, 5.1%. US Swiss francs, $37, 3.7%. And then Aussie Swiss francs, $36, 3.6%, with New Zealand Swiss francs at $33, 3.3%. So overall, this one here is definitely up on the profits with $248 or 5% on a clean side just for the week. Now this portfolio is fairly new. You can see it's only about 42 days. We have 16 accounts in here, and it looks like profits are already coming in. Equity is also positive. Floating profit and loss is actually quite low, 1747 compared to the close profits. So that is quite unusual so for these EAs. But with the changes that we have made, it looks like this is actually making a very good difference. Monthly returns on this one is 1.2 or 12% if you trade it on $1,000 accounts. Same with weekly returns, should be 0.3 on a $10,000 account or 3% for a $1,000 accounts. It's entirely up to you. The good part is that the trade win is 69.9%, so almost 70% in here, very, very high. And it has taken a lot of pips already, trades per day, 15.8. So it's actually right around the area also for the Wave and the RSI, right in there. And you can already now also having a closer look at all of these. They are not on the coupling service yet, but if you go on our website, you can see all of them in here. Again, you click on them and you'll see the individual currency pairs of which ones are good, which ones are bad. So, and also the drawdowns they will have had. So we don't have many weeks in here, but the week we have now is 440. So that is definitely the second best we had so far. And obviously we had the high volatility. So regarding the trade war, so that definitely cashed in here. It worked quite nicely. Now it's more on the regular level, I guess, $440. So definitely working out. So we also have to look for February for the Hedged EA. So obviously Great British Pounds AUD comes in at a very nice $212, 21.2%. So that is definitely the high jumper for the week. We have Euro USD $155, 15.5%. And another one at US CAD, also $155, 15.5%. With a third one of $155, which is the Euro AUD, also 15.5%. Very tight race in there. And then Aussie USD, $147, 14.7%. And overall, we have a massive $824, 16.5% made if you would have traded these top 5 EAs in here over the past month. So that is definitely a very, very good return. Now we also have individual months, and you can see we started this off in January, and we didn't have a full month of January at that particular time in here. So, but this is the first full month, 1883. So definitely that EA seems to be working quite nicely. And the next one we're going to talk about, the Lucky Trader, is the one that has normally been the top part, but here it cannot really match it for the week. The Great British Pounds CAD was at $51, 5.1%, which is still extremely good. The Euro Swiss francs is $46, 4.6%. CAD Swiss francs, $33, 3.3%, with the Aussie Swiss francs at $32, 3.2%. And Euro CAD, $31, 3.1%, with $192, or 3.8% overall. And that still gives a lot more than 10% in a month. The portfolio itself is going quite well. Also here, we can see the Lucky Trader with the balance. We started off with 16 accounts, $10,000. So it is nicely in plus. Also on the equity side of it, floating profit and loss well under control, and profits are already surpassing that one. We now also have monthly returns of 1.2 again, so 12% on a $1,000 account. Also here, trade wins are extremely high with 69.6%, so doing quite well. And trades per day, there's a few more, 21, almost 22 trades per day, and a history now also of about 4 months, 120 days. So it is doing well, it is cashing in, and you can actually also benefit from that. Some of these are already on the coupling service. We are obviously going to add more. It all depends on Alex and Expert Forex, but you can go on our website, have a look at them, see which ones you think also that you want to trade if you have your own EA in there. So you can see which ones are the ones cashing in the best, which ones are the ones that you should keep away from. Saves you a bit of time and effort. Now, if we're going to have a look at the entire week, Then the portfolio didn't do too bad with 335. It's certainly better than, again, the disastrous week we had last week with 135, 305 the previous week. And then we had the volatile week in here, which is obviously a high jumper. Apart from that, I think we are pretty much on the low side of average, is what I would call it. So let's go and have a look at February, because that one looks fairly good with Great British Pounds USD at $262 or 26.2%. So you can see the lucky trader over the bigger month or two can definitely be in there together with the Hedged EA. Euro USD is at $200 or 20%. And then Great British Pounds CAD, $176 or 17.6%, with Euro Swiss francs, 145, 14.5%. And then the lower one of the top five is Euro Great British Pounds, $140, 14.0%. And also here actually matches with $923, 18.5% for those top 5 EAs in here. So definitely this one here cashes in extremely nicely. So if we have a look at the lucky trader, we now have about 4 months of results. Now this is not the best results, far from it, but it certainly outperforms the month of January. So 1,665 is what we made. That is still a very good number overall. Now also the bell trader is normally the one that are lying dormant or has been very, very slow. This particular week here, it is doing quite well. So the Euro USD is at $68, 6.8% with the US CAD. Following closely after with $62 or 6.2% with CAD Swiss francs, $54, 5.4%. And then Great British Pounds USD, $46, 4.6% with Euro Swiss francs, 44 or 4.4%. So over here, the bell trader is actually doing quite well with $275, 5.5%. Definitely been catching up here lately, and we also adjust this one on a weekly basis. You'll notice again here 16 accounts we have, and the floating profit and loss is extremely low on this particular one here, only minus 619. Closed profits is 3,622, so doing quite well. Monthly returns has also come up a bit, so we are now at 0.8 for $10,000 accounts or 8% on a $1,000 account, with weekly returns of around 2, and the trade wins are extremely high with 73.1% at the moment. But as you can see, trades per day, it's only making about 8.7, so that's also why the return is a bit lower at the end. History is now 3 months, 91 days in here. We also have full access to all these EAs. The first ones we actually got Alex to take on the couple-in service is the Euro CAD and then the Great British Pounds CAD. So more of them is actually quite good. They are working out, as you can see on the top 5 in here. So we are hoping with a few more weeks or in the next month, we should get the last ones on. But after that, most probably, he's going to change it into different sets of accounts. So, but in the meantime, let's go and have a look at the weekly profits, 542. So that is nicely up compared to a lot of the other months we have in here. Again, only the volatile period, so outperformed it. So we are very happy with what we have seen for this particular week. And if we go and have a look at the monthly results, you'll be quite surprised because this one is actually also up there. US CAD, $219 or 21.9%. With Euro Great British Pounds, $215, 21.5%. And then Euro USD, $180, 18%. And then Euro Swiss francs, $175, 17.5%. With Aussie USD coming in at $157, 15.7%. So extremely high, very, very good month for the bell trader with $946, 18.9%. And that actually looks like this on the graph also here. So done extremely well. And especially when you consider here, we started off with 900 for the month of December, slightly better, 983 for the month of January. And then almost we are doubling this particular one in here. So we have made some minor adjustments, which we do on the bell trader every single week. It's very, very easy to do it. We are not doing any back testing because everything is in the graphics and you can see that straight away. Now we also have to go through Alex, an expert Forex, just to show him what is new, what is coming up. And one of the things that Alex is now talking about is the ultimate trend catcher. So how to actually get the markets. And in this particular way, it's a sideways market trading robot. And it looks like he is developing this particular one here. Certainly we hope that this actually turns out, that all his testing behind the scenes is actually something that we're going to benefit from here in the near future. Also, Alex has now put up so where you can win one of the trading robots you have here. You can actually win on a weekly basis. I'll make sure that I give you the video description link. So in the video description also below here, so you can win some of these EAs that you have actually seen here today. Some of them going for $700-800 all the way up to, as it says here, $1,000. So definitely worth having a look at to see if you can get your trading career started with maybe one happy win in here. And also a new video from Alex is the easiest way of making money from Forex. No trading skills required. And again, here he's talking about the link to success service, the copy link trading in here, where we are very much part of this particular one here. But he is discussing why do you want to do this? Why you want to spend time on it if you can't afford the time set in for it. So definitely this is another way of making money without having any skill sets. Now we have some skill sets, as you can obviously see, the best monthly average gains that we have for Alex and Expert Forex in here. So these are the best monthly average gains. So, and this is now actually from the 1st of March. You'll see the top one in here is actually link 180C. So this is ours at 23.4%. And then it runs all the way down to 13.2, which is certainly not bad either for a monthly part. We have highlighted all our links that we have in here in yellow. So you'll notice there is quite a few of them. And we're very happy to see that some of the changes, some of the efforts that we have put in to making this not only more secure, but are still profitable. So that is actually working out. Now they also have the little Excel that we have now started looking for the top 5 every single time. So to find the best copy links, and at least that is a good start. I'm not telling you that you have to go by this particular one in here, but this is one way of actually finding some of it. First of all, floating profit and loss, what we are searching for here. We want to have less than 300. So basically floating profit and loss should be less than 300 in here. And then we also go and say total negative weeks in the last 8 weeks. It cannot be above either 300. And again, as you notice, everything is extremely low in here. We have a couple of new ones that we don't really know anything about yet. So let's see what comes out. And then return on drawdown has to be at least a couple of hundred. Normally, it's not really a big problem. The lowest one we have is here, 165C, so that's one of ours. So, but again, overall, it seems to have gained about 21, so definitely not too bad, 21% in here. And then we actually also high to low, search it in here, set it up, and that means the highest one for this particular week. It's updated every week. Last time, 1st of March, is 43%. First one of ours is 176C, a very popular one for sure, 37%. And then we have additional ones down here. We have highlighted our signals as usual, so you are aware which ones are the ones that we are trading. And you can click on the links and get you to the FX Blue site, and then you can find a lot more details. You can go and double check some of the numbers that are in here. And don't forget, this is the equity part that we are working on, not the balance. And if you have a full list of what I've just searched for before, it looks like this for this particular week in here. Anything from 43% all the way down to 3%. So over the past 8 weeks, but it is still very much alive. It's very much kicking in, so as it should be. Maybe some of these ones needs an adjustment from time to time, but they have also the very low drawdowns that you can use, and the very low floating profit and loss overall, while still catching in. So definitely these are some of the ones that you might want to have a closer look at for the next week. So this is what we had for you in this week's news report. As you can see, profits are up. They're looking quite nice. And also drawdown is well under control here. So through most of the EAs, as we mentioned here before, the drawdown on the portfolios itself, especially on the Wave and the RSI, still has a few US accounts that needs to close. It has taken quite some time. And obviously with what is happening in the US at the moment, it's anybody's guess when this is going to happen. But at least all the other ones are working quite well. We can see that the new setups are where they're supposed to be. And also the profits are still coming in. That is the important part. Obviously also when you have a whole month of profit, it is a lot easier to see which EAs are actually working out over long periods of time. You can do that by going also to our website and see for the past 4 months. You can see for the past 4 weeks, everything is available in there. Everything is also for free. The whole idea here is that you are supposed to get your own ideas, either so you can trade your own EAs, or you can go on the copy-link service and take some of the best signals from there, and then hopefully also make yourself a little fortune over time. Definitely, again, be sort of careful and mindful again that you only play with money that you can afford to lose. But the way we are operating now has definitely a lot lower risk than many of the traders had in the past. So we are quite happy with this, and hopefully it will be even better going forward. Now also that Alex and ourselves also are looking into some of these new single trades at a time, all the way down to $300. We have started some of the testing already, setting them up on the accounts, and now we simply just have to run them on the individual accounts here to see if actually the back testing is also showing well on the live. Well, we can see that obviously from past experiences with what we are testing, that is the case, but that's normally what people wants to see. So of course we'll try and give you that also, and that will be added in a future news report. We are not exactly sure when and how, but for sure if you keep logging in every single week to follow us, then for sure you will be one of the first ones to know. So until then, I hope to see you on next week's video again. So until then, bye-bye.
I hope you enjoyed our news report. So please don't forget to like and add your comment below, as we would love to get your feedback. But before you go, make sure you subscribe to the channel and don't forget to keep the notification bell turned on. That way you will never miss any of our future videos. We hope to see you back on this channel very soon.